Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Sign. Justin,
Ryan,
what's up, dude?
what's up, buddy?
Today we're talking local.
Local news, local updates. As many of the guests saw on episode 2, we featured Twisted Gingers,
Yep.
which is the anchor of a new
Development project.
development project run in Ambler called Ridge Hall.
Excited for that to come to fruition.
I went to dinner there a week ago at Lucky's Roadside.
How was it?
It was great. It was
What'd you get?
So hold on, I got a double cheeseburger, bacon cheeseburger. But me and my youngest daughter went for a little impromptu date night. So Ridge Hall is not fully open yet, but they have, as some of the vendors are getting into their space, they are doing pop-ups. So Lucky's is starting to get in there. They are doing burger pop-ups. You can check their social media and see when they're there. But so my youngest and I went there for burgers the other night, grabbed a beer over at Twisted Gingers and had a good little dinner. But and there's some exciting, being in there, there's some exciting other new vendor spots going in. Pierogi Kitchen, that is over in Roxborough, is relocating to the Ambler Ridge Hall.
That'll be exciting.
That'll be cool. I used to drive over there every year to get our Christmas pierogies.
Love a good pierogi.
The Mary's Chicken Strip Club is going in there, and with a number of others. 2 Street Sammy's. I don't remember the name of the sweet shop or ice cream scoops. I think Scoops.
Might
maybe
be Scoops.
One that was also a new one that just is Herman's Coffee. So if you're familiar with Herman's Coffee in South Philadelphia, they are going to be putting a coffee spot. We're getting another awesome little coffee spot here in Ambler, which is great.
Now, 3? It'll be
3.
the 3rd coffee spot.
Yeah. But this brings me to another topic that I think is relatively new, and Ridge Hall is catching a lot of buzz right now, which I think is overshadowing something else that's in the pipelines coming to Ambler. SEPTA is, first off, a tip for our viewers. SEPTA is actively ticketing again in the parking lots.
Got one last week. Nice $10 ticket.
Yep. So just make sure you pay your parking if you're parking in the SEPTA lots. But SEPTA is actively seeking designs for mixed-use space for the parking lot on South Main Street.
Right across from Wake.
Right across from Wake. Yeah, so there's mixed opinions on the project, but I do think it has a good potential. From what I understand, is it's to be like a type of a promenade-esque, Upper Dublin Promenade, if you're familiar, esque type of development with ground floor commercial, and then residential upstairs. Obviously,
which I think could be good for the community.
Yeah, SEPTA's push. Obviously, we know SEPTA has announced some budget cuts this year, and rail line, they're cutting some services, so we know they're hurting for cash. But I think it's a way for them. It sounds like SEPTA spokesperson said it is a way for them to, I guess, create density near train stations, right? Eliminate some need for vehicles. Yeah, and I don't know. I'm mixed on the need in Ambler. I like, Ambler.
The way that it is.
Yeah, we have a small town feel.
Yeah.
So like adding, I don't know the specifics of the project.
Yeah, I think what they're doing now is they're looking for plan submissions
Of design. Yeah, they're
of
looking for some
design right now, and they're not ready to choose a design just yet, but it's open for discussion. They've been given the go ahead to kind of seek those things and see if they can bring something to light over there. I think from a density perspective, right, population perspective, I think it's definitely going to bring a little bit more chaos to Ambler.
Yeah, a little bit. I think, let's talk about, we'll talk about the space in and of itself. I do think that parking lot offers a lot of massive waste, right? Like, it's not often filled to the brim.
It's very rarely ever filled.
Yeah. There is even that whole section down on the south end of the lot that's empty,
Vacant.
like never anybody there.
Yeah.
So I do think something could be usefully done there. SEPTA is not planning on selling the lot; they're just planning on entering long-term leases so they can create recurring revenue. Which I get it. I get for them, they need to facilitate the infrastructure that they take care of. So I get the need to maybe reuse the space.
I like the idea of potentially bringing in some shopping there.
Yeah, I think that's the question, right? Like what mixed use, what commercial can go in there that's going to be great, right? Ambler already has a plethora of amazing dining options.
Mm-hmm.
We have a plethora of dining options, drinking options. We could maybe use some more shopping options.
Maybe some retail.
Maybe some retail. We have some limited retail in Ambler. They're more boutique
style feel.
Yeah, niche.
Which is also very good. I think that the town does well with that, and I think that those people that are, those business owners that are there on Butler, they make out really, really well. So I am a little concerned about how that might impact their business projection.
Yeah. I think the benefit that I can see from it is, one of the things I think that, when we're in the office, we know like Monday, Tuesday, it's pretty difficult to find somewhere to eat lunch because, Ambler doesn't have a lot of foot traffic on a Monday, Tuesday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, different story. But so I think maybe that could be a benefit, like bringing more people that are frequenting the dining establishments, maybe extend their hours a little bit, give a little bit more opportunity for the businesses that are already here.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that might help out things. And you're right, it's a little bit scarce on those days of the week, but I think that there's some pros and some cons to obviously the potential of what might happen with that lot. I mean, it's 3.5 acres.
Yeah,
right?
Is it 3.5 or 5? It's 3.5 to 5, somewhere in there. Yeah.
Somewhere in there. But it's very rarely ever used, and a lot of people have been parking in there for free. And
I think the best use of it is when Santa comes into town at holidays on the SEPTA train. Like, it's great. It's awesome. But I think I do think it's a cool development. I want to see where it goes. I know they pitched this a few years ago and it didn't really take flight.
Back in 2023, I think is when the original pitch took place.
Yeah. And so we'll see what happens. I mean, like I said, we'll see. They're looking to get designs, maybe pick one by the end of 2025 here, at the end of the year. So, I mean, either way, it's exciting. But what I also think is exciting from the statement from SEPTA is they want to, I guess, pilot this type of development with this project and then maybe bring this to other regional rail stops around the greater Philly area. So, which that, really could be pretty cool. So
I think it might be. I think overall it could be a really good thing, especially if it's a pilot and it works out really, really well. I think one of the biggest things that they might be looking for is foot traffic, right? Ease of use for public transportation, bring people in. Bringing people into a town is really never a bad thing. It's just a matter of, constructing it in the right manner and having it flow correctly.
Exactly, because Ambler does have some history and some style, and we'd like to see that incorporated.
Yeah, and hopefully it stays. It's the old town feel of Ambler. As long as that stays intact, I think that's what people are kind of care about long term most.
Yeah. Well, then, while we're talking about Ambler, let's hot topic this or that.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to do this on purpose. Like,
oh boy,
Ambler or Horsham?
Well,
what's your pick, Justin?
I mean, man, it's a tough. I live in Horsham. I love Horsham. I love all the parks, the trails, the access. But we don't have anything in Horsham. We've got the patio.
You have the patio.
This is a great spot for a drink.
Horsham does not really have a center of town.
They've had several failed attempts at opening up restaurants between Horsham and Norristown Road.
Yeah.
You had the Farm and Fisherman Tavern.
I like that place.
It was pretty good. That was like my Tuesday night happy hour spot.
I like that place.
And that's since shut down. It's been shut down for almost 2 years now.
McGurk's is doing pretty well.
McGurk's is always a good spot, but we don't have variety where we're at. We have Copper Crow, McGurk's, PJ's. It's all kind of like outside of Copper Crow, which is all right.
Yeah.
I'm not throwing any shade to Copper Crow. It's just, but PJ's, McGurk's, it's all kind of like very, very similar. We don't have variety where we live. And so if you want to go to a night out with your significant other, or you want to go out to a happy hour with friends, I'm usually going into Ambler or I'm driving into Doylestown.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that is...
So my pick is probably, if I'm looking for the nightlife, I'm choosing Ambler.
Gotcha.
If I'm looking for quiet,
Horsham.
I'm staying in Horsham.
Yeah.
Does that give an answer or not really?
Yeah. That's like a both sides of the coin answer. I love it. But I mean, my pick, I love Ambler. Like, I think the sense of community there is amazing. I love the options, like you mentioned, right? Like, you could walk down Butler and you could eat from almost any country.
Yeah, pretty much.
You can drink pretty much whatever you want. Like, you have, on Butler alone, you have 3 breweries.
Yeah.
You have cocktail bar. You have everything, every option there within walking distance, and that's kind of what makes Ambler really cool and special, because
I think it sticks out.
Yeah.
Right.
And then Ambler does offer, like, obviously we're also talking a huge difference in size, right? Like, Ambler's like
what?
a square mile.
Okay, gotcha.
Right, compared to Horsham at like 20 square miles.
We'll just leave that one right there. Yes, correct.
Yeah. So, it's a tough comparison on the grand scale, but I mean, but if you take, I guess Horsham could take the fact that it does share 19002.
It does.
Yeah, it does share 19002.
It's huge. It's big.
Yeah.
And
it's big. It's so big.
All right. Off topic. Go ahead.
So I just wanted to throw a little.
My heart is in Horsham.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think Horsham is getting to the spot of recognizing that outside of the recreational things that they have to offer, there's really nothing there. They're talking, they've got approval to start the conversations on redevelopment of the airbase.
I've heard about that.
That's a 286-acre plot of land that's just been ruined over time due to aircraft, and the military that's been there. So
and it hasn't been, it's limited use now.
It's limited use.
So it's also kind of fallen apart.
It has, and it's created. This is a hot button topic for the people that have been in the town, because over years there's been contamination of wells. There's been, what do we do with this property? Some people want cut throughs to get from 611 to Horsham Road. Some people want to see affordable housing being built. There's been a myriad of conversation around what to do with that land, and there's only so much you can do with it from a development standpoint. There's talks about potentially up Limekiln Road in Horsham doing some development and some shops, which I'm a believer that walkability in a town is everything.
I agree.
Whether you can walk to a park, walk to a trail, ride your bikes, just get out and be outside together, that to me is what makes or break a town potentially.
Yeah.
And the simple fact that Horsham does not offer any retail really outside of, like, on the Willow Grove side where Lowe's and Walmart and some of the eateries that are over there,
the Upper Dublin side,
the Promenade, like, we don't really have much in our town. Even Hatboro has walkability. You can get out onto York Road from various points and hit a handful of breweries. I mean, they're bringing another one into town.
That's right.
With the old mill that was there.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see that one come to fruition. But Horsham specifically, I love you, Horsham, but we need to get our shit together.
Yeah. Look, and not every town is gonna love development, right? And
they love development from housing perspective.
Right. Development's a hot topic anyway, right? Like, it's always a hot topic. You either love it or you hate it. It's a hot topic, which we don't need to go down that right now because we don't have enough time left in the day. But
no.
But yeah, I mean, I think from the senses of community, I think they're both very similar. It's just they offer
Yeah.
a different style.
Yeah, totally. And I think, there's no right or wrong answer there, but, obviously I'm partial to home.
Yeah. I'd be interested for, any of our viewers, like if you're watching, like I'd be interested to hear what your takes are on, your community and
Yeah.
how you feel about that. So, leave some comments. And, I meant to say this before we segued into the Horsham Ambler. I'd love to, if you are listening and local in Ambler, I'd love to hear your take on the SEPTA lot, SEPTA development. So
It's a big issue. Again, development is a hot topic. There's going to be people that are living in the town that have been in the town for such a long time that are opposed to it.
Yep.
And there's people that are going to be for it. And obviously you can come to us as a source of information and a resource to help kind of put in front of you what we're finding. We like to kind of stay in the loop as to what's happening in the town, and being that our office is there and we like to focus there. But, it's not going to be for everybody, and hopefully they do what is right with that property.
I hope so too. I think they will.
Yeah.
From
an activity standpoint, we're talking about housing and between towns. What are you, localized? What are you seeing?
I mean, I've definitely seen a bit of an uptick in new inventory.
Mm-hmm.
Some new houses have been coming on the market. They are, still typically moving pretty quickly, as buyers are just waiting for them. The buyers are like the bobbers in the water, and the houses are just grabbing the hooks, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's nice to see that there's it seems like some momentum picking up going into fall.
Yeah.
I think that'll help make some buyers happy, let these sellers finally move on to where they're trying to go. I think a lot of them have been delayed, not wanting to pull the trigger, but I think a lot of people are finally grasping that they can pull the trigger. So I think it's been nice. I think it's a nice change. It's not super stagnant on waiting for listings to come up.
Yeah, I think that definitely across the board. Horsham has been we only have 9 listings on the market as of this morning, and that's probably maybe changed. Who knows? I haven't checked the MLS, but you're definitely seeing an uptick in listings. The thing I'm noticing for you buyers out there is just an educational thing. Is I'm seeing a lot of people decide to wait to get their stuff, their credit portfolios taken care of. Meaning, they want to see homes, but yet they don't want to go through the approval route.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely see that. I mean, regardless of time frame, we see buyers that don't want to get their pre-approval until they find a house that they like.
Yeah.
And
in our area, you can't do that.
No, you can't. I mean, we operate in an area with agents a lot like ourselves that protect or sell our clients, and we want to make sure that it's just pre-approved buyers coming in. There's, if you don't want to get your pre-approval, go to an open house.
Great strategy.
Go to an open house.
Why? Tell us why.
So, I mean, if you're not willing to get pre-approved, you're telling the agent that you're asking to take you out that you're not serious about the process. Plain and simple. I mean, if you're not willing to take the time to speak to a lender, whether it's your lender, a lender you ask us for a recommendation, I don't particularly have an opinion as long as it is not probably not closing.
Yes.
Some of the big banks, we don't love them as they, in our experience, we have
more trouble than we do.
Yeah.
Good. Yep.
But I ultimately encourage my clients to get second opinion, third opinion. I think you're the consumer. I'm pro-consumer when it comes to buying a house and selling a house. I think you need to do what's absolutely best for you. So
I'm the consumer.
Yes, sir.
I want you to show me a house, but I don't have an approval. So you're going to send me to an open house?
Yeah.
And talk to another agent that's there?
I'm going to take you to see one house. Right. When I mean go to an open house, if you're continually trying to see homes and you're not willing to take the advice of your agent to get pre-approval in order, you're not serious. You're wasting time.
Yeah. What does me going to an open house by myself do?
For you?
Yeah.
it allows you to view the home. That's what you wanted to do, right? You wanted to see the house. You wanted to take a look. The open house is going to be a prime opportunity for you to do that.
And I can go see as many of them as I want.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And when I find the one,
You call me back and we'll get you pre-approved.
that's right.
But yeah, I mean, realistically, you should, if you're starting a buying process,
Yeah.
you really, you're almost, you're not.
You
almost,
need to
you're-
have a blueprint.
You're doing yourself a disservice. You're putting the cart before the horse
Yeah.
by you don't even understand the financial impact of the decision. You don't understand the financial impact of the price. That like, how do you know what price point to look at? Like, you don't know. So, get your pre-approval in order first, and we are here to help you with that. I'm here to help you. Like, I again, back to that pro-consumer thing. Like, I will help you evaluate your estimated costs from multiple lenders because things do vary. It's
Yeah.
not just rate. So many
Yeah.
people are fixated on interest rate.
Yeah.
I've seen low interest rates with hidden discount points because that company is not showing the costs along with it. And I'm like, cool, you got a 4.9. I guarantee you it's going to cost you more money.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about this on the last pod with Brian Alexander from I Teach Credit. We talked a little bit about cost versus rate.
Right.
And if you're a buyer in today's market, there is a very different feel, very different approach that some lenders, loan officers will have. Now, not throwing my loan officer friends under the bus by all. We love you. We thank you for your business. We hear stories in the market where the lender is, or the LO is quoting this ridiculous rate that really doesn't exist in the market. And we're wondering how they got to that rate. And it's pre-programmed that buyer to think rate first.
Right.
And not look at what costs are.
Right.
Cost, lender fees, escrows, your taxes, hidden points, right?
Even origination fees,
Right.
Appraisal fees vary, right? Like, and if depending on you and your budget, if those differences, I mean, listen, I don't know anybody that wants to pay more for certain things, especially when you're making a large purchase, you want to put most of that money into that, right? So first off, check around, get your agent to review your estimated cost sheet with you. We see them all the time. We know what we're looking for. We can tell you if we see something on there that looks extraordinarily out of place.
Yeah.
And, I mean, look, a lot of these times, like, I know our lender partners, like most of them are not doing this, right? A lot of these ones that we see are coming from website-based loan programs,
Yes.
right?
Rocket mortgages.
Rocketbook. So just do yourself a favor, like get that second opinion, get a third opinion. You have, we should have talked about this with Ryan last time. You have time from when you make a mortgage application to make multiple mortgage applications.
Yeah.
I think it's 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Might be 2 weeks.
Yep.
You have that.
I think it's generally 14 days, but I think there's some extension to that.
14 days. You have that time to make multiple mortgage applications, and it only counts as one inquiry so that it doesn't damage your credit score. Do it. Take advantage of it and do it because you're only going to help yourself.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think one of the things, and I like the idea of sending the buyer to the open house, it lets them feel what it is that they're looking for.
Yeah.
And in today's day and age, with agents and non-exclusive and exclusive buyer agency contracts and
agents that aren't getting any agency contracts signed.
Yeah, I mean, it just I think it's good for a buyer to go out by themselves a little bit and try and find something that they know will be appealing to them in the long term, and then maybe find somebody to go back to and say, hey, this is the style house. We went and looked at 123 Main Street, and this is kind of what we're looking for, but we don't really know what costs are.
Right.
I think that's important to be able to do on your own a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. I think, get out there. I mean, I love when my clients, I have buyer clients. and over the years, you get the similar ones. But I love when my clients will call me, and they'll be like, "Hey, we checked out this open house. We didn't call you to see it because we actually didn't think we would like it, but now we like it." And I'm like, I love that, right? I love that because they didn't really expect to like it, but they still went to see it, right? And that does happen.
Happened to me this morning. I was out on the Powerline Trail walking with my vest. I got a text at 7:05 from a client that I sold a house to 4 or 5 years ago. Say, "Hey, we went to an open house last night. Loved the house. We want to try and buy it."
Awesome.
It's great,
Yes.
but we lost. We're losing out immediately because they got a cash deal. But
Right.
it's just those things are good.
Well, you brought up, you said something there. I want to talk about. You talk about getting out on the Powerline Trail this morning.
Yeah.
Obviously I know you, so I can kind of set this conversation up to go where I want it to go.
Great.
But you getting out on the trail in the morning is an outlet.
It is.
Right. We've talked, you and I talk all the time. And I think the market that we've been going through, you and I have had a lot of experiences this year. It's been heavy, right? Ups and downs. Not only that, we both have kids, families. There's a lot going on, and a lot of guys don't talk about this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think the outlets that we choose to help us.
Are you talking about mental health?
I'm talking about mental health, physical health, right? I think tying them, I think they're all tied together,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But, I know I had a lot going on this week. I've obviously, like, I know we've never actually gotten this personal on the pod with our viewers.
No, not yet.
This week I'll date it back a little bit. I've been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis for 2 years now. And this week I had to go in for my is it biannual? Is that twice a year?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my biannual treatment, which everything is going great. And, it's not that, I'm in a good spot and everything's fine. But it brings up these things that, like, we get to a point in life that, things start to break down. And one of the things, so I got diagnosed with MS, I think it's 2 years ago, like now. And this is also another topic I want to talk, won't talk about it all. I noticed something that felt funny. I had a leg sensation that did not feel right. Felt like my leg was hot when it was cold, right? It was an odd sensation. And I think a lot of guys, myself included, because I've done this now with other things, but a lot of guys would kick it down the road, right? Like, they're not going to go see a doctor. I just knew something in me told me that this was not normal. Like, I was in the car and I had my Yeti, which is clearly metal, and it was cold. The car's air conditioned. I put it on my leg. It felt like it was burning. It was very weird. Saw a neurologist. Neurologist did some scans. Boom, you have some lesions in your spinal cord. I'm like, cool.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? What does that mean for me? Went and saw a specialist. I like my specialist a lot. I hate that I have to travel into the city every 6 months, but
It's for your own good.
it's for my own good. It's a small price. I did get a parking ticket this week at SEPTA too, so pay your SEPTA meters.
Yeah.
But it brought about another thing. Like, it really put a focus on physical health
Yeah.
and mental health, right?
Yes.
Because when you're in the position where you're diagnosed with something like that, which if you don't know, MS has no cure, right? Like, MS is not curable. It's treatable, but there's no known cure for it now. So this is now essentially something that I will be dealing with forever.
Right.
That's heavy. I mean, regardless of the severity of it, that's a heavy
Yes,
thing.
because we don't know.
You don't know. It's
don't
unknown.
know.
You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
So the mental health thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's huge. I think it's not talked about enough. And we all are going through things, and work, life, balance. I personally don't subscribe to work-life balance. I think it's a crock of shit, if you ask me.
Yeah.
And I'll give you my reasons why. I think what I've learned in the last 8 years of my life, going through a divorce and being torn down to nothing, it created my own mental challenges to the point where I started seriously doubting whether life was worth it or not. And that's a tough pill to swallow. Having 2 kids and going through that whole cycle, I won't get too deep into it, but probably about a year into that, I was like, you know what? I need to see somebody. I need to talk to somebody. I've got all these pent up feelings, not just from that process, but from life.
Right.
From childhood all the way through adulthood, the way I've done things versus how they should have been done. And sort of like what we talked about on the last podcast, right? Being embarrassed not to admit certain things that you've gone through or that you've done a certain way, knowing that you've done them wrong.
Right.
So the mental health piece, and it hits home. I've had a family member who I've looked up to my entire life go through that just recently. And I think it's something that we shy away from. I think we tend to easily make fun of people who are going through mental health challenges in one way or another or in their own way. And I think we as a society have been told that there has to be this work-life balance, which I think is bullshit. And the reason why is, for me personally, I feel like everything is a juggling act. And I think that juggling is good in some aspects. I'm not saying that people that are balancing things in a way that works for them is bad, but for me personally, I like things going on. I like being able to have multiple balls in the air at one time, and at any moment's notice, I can go from one to the next. And to me, that's the balance that works for my life. I like to be able to take time out and still have things going on. I like to be able to, have a day with my kids, which I'm hoping to do this weekend, and just spend time while other things are still happening. And I know if I spend 6 hours over here or a handful of hours over here, I can come back over here and kind of pick up where we left off.
Yeah. Be where your feet are.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Our good buddy Sharon made that statement a long time ago when we first joined Real. Be where your feet are.
Yeah. Be where your feet are. It is tough, right? Like it is that's the hustle. It's hustle. Is it a culture? Or is it a scam? Right? Like it's a little bit of both, if you ask me. Right?
I agree.
I think I appreciate the juggling act too, right? Like I like being able to intermittently go back and forth between work and personal and this and that. I think
I look at it as like they're just spokes in a wheel.
Right.
That's all that it is.
The wheel's just turning.
The wheel's just turning. If I don't like that one, I'm pulling it out.
But I do think at times that wheel creates pressure, right? And I think dealing with that pressure in appropriate outlets is the best thing to do. So back to
my outlets.
Your outlet of, getting out on the trail in the morning.
Yeah. I mean, this year, I did something for myself this year that I never thought I would do, which was I entered myself into a essentially 30-mile ultra trek.
Yep.
Ruck up Big Bear Mountain.
Like 5 times.
Yeah. And it was a 28-mile race with basically a 35-pound pack on my back. I've never done anything like that before in my life. I was miserable. But I'm a big fan of something called voluntary adversity.
Yep.
Which I've picked up from listening to Joe Rogan's podcast. Shout out to Joe. Big listener. But the voluntary adversity thing, I think, helps keep me centered in that wheel. And so most mornings I try to get out in the morning with my 40-pound pack and I go hike the trail. Sometimes I'm running, sometimes I'm walking. Today was the first day that I was on the trail, and I decided, I'm like, you know what? I'm not listening to any music today. It's just me and the trail and the sounds of the trail.
So I just heard about this, which I think might be right up your alley. I actually talked to my wife about this, and I was like, we should do this. There's a book. I haven't read it. Full disclosure, I haven't read it. I saw it from another influencer, and it's called The 12-Hour Walk. And there's a book called The 12-Hour Walk. I don't know the author off the top of my head, but it is, you go out to walk by yourself for 12 hours. The gist I got of it is, no music in your headphones, I saw one person's journey of it and thought it was very interesting. He and his wife did it at the same time, but separately. And very cool. And it
got me intrigued.
Yeah. We'll have to read the book or read more into it. I did not put a ton into the research end of that one, but it forces you, and like he basically said, like he would smile, say hi to people that might have smiled, said hi. He was in an urban environment.
Yeah.
But it just forces you to put your own thoughts for 12 hours. Like you have nothing else.
Yeah.
Some visual distraction as you're out moving around.
Yeah.
Some physical exertion. You're 12 hours of walking, regardless of who you are, it's still a good exercise. But yeah, we'll have to look into that, and maybe we'll touch back on that another time.
Yeah, I love that idea. I had my phone with me, obviously, and I did wind up taking the phone out because I came across like a herd of deer, basically, literally from like here to over there, and they were all kind of cropped together feeding.
Yeah. And
I noticed that the one deer was just kind of like looking at me as I walked by. She didn't move.
Did she want to buy a house?
She maybe. But she just kind of stayed put. And as I was walking by, I was like, kind of whispering, talking to her, like, it's okay, like, all good, like, I'm not going to hurt you, type of thing. Her ears went up, and then I heard a cry from the other side of the trail. I look over, and I'm like, oh, that's a baby fawn. I looked over, and sure enough, this deer just jumps right across the trail. I got in between it and a mama.
Yeah.
So it was kind of cool to unplug that way, and I'm starting to do that stuff more often.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
So yeah, I Burn works for me because I don't have to think. I go for my class. Class is 45 minutes. We rotate between strength and conditioning days, and you just don't have to think. They give you what you need to do. Think about your weight a little bit, but
gives you the structure.
It gives you the exercise. It gives you the structure. It tells you what to do, how many times to do it, and you do it. And it's been going great. I mean, obviously.
How do you feel like that's helped your long-term mental health?
Well, I think it's a twofold. I think it's helping my physical health, which therefore lightens a bit of my mental health on stressing about my physical health.
Yeah, I said earlier today that I'm going to be 44 in October. And for a large part of this year, I was like, how old am I? Am I going to be 43 or 44?
Yeah, I think I'm asking myself the same question too.
Yeah, and so I think the mental health thing is, my goal is to be the healthiest 44-year-old I can be for me.
Yeah. Possible.
Not for anybody else. Like, they'll get the benefits of it.
Yeah.
But for me.
Yeah. I'm in the same position. One of the, aside of the MS diagnosis, because that really kicked me into a higher gear of wanting to eat better, because the doctor and I talked about how you can manage some of it or decrease escalation of the disease by consuming certain things or less certain things, whatever. And then I had a friend of mine last year break his ankle, and I'm like, that's what kicked me into I need to get stronger. I need to get stronger, because if I'm stronger, I can prevent injuries like this. The longevity portion, right? If you wait another day, that's another day down the road, right, that you may lose, right? Like the healthier you are now, the longer you'll be able to be. I think I saw something. It was like, if you can do X now, you'll be able to do X then, right? There's a couple of those things out there.
Yeah.
Like farmer carry your body weight. You
Yes.
could then be expected to walk upstairs when you're 80, right?
Yes.
And I think those couple of things that happened, right? The diagnosis and then the friend breaking the ankle. And I think those couple of things really put it into perspective to me. Like, okay, I'm not in my 20s anymore.
Yes.
The
The thing I'm recognizing most about my own health, my own body, is my dexterity, my flexibility. It's shot. And so it's like the saying is true, man. You don't use it, you lose it.
100%.
Right?
We're going to have to get you into a yoga class. And
Yoga.
hot yoga.
Used to do hot yoga.
Dude, I love doing yoga. But yeah, the mental health aspect is huge, and no matter what you do. And I'm going to put this out. I'll put this out here. Like, I don't care who you are. If you're listening and you need to talk to somebody, I mean, you can start with one of us. I mean,
For sure.
no judgment. Like, we are. I'm here to help anybody. I would if I can be a part of a reason to help somebody and prevent somebody going down a spiral from a mental health issue, just needing to talk to somebody is such a huge first step. My phone's always on,
Same.
So
yeah, I've lost people to mental health. Like I said before, like somebody that I've looked up to my entire life has battled with it.
Yeah.
Thankfully, he's better and getting better every day, and it's a serious thing. I think it starts with your physical, like you said. Your physical will lead to the mental, and vice versa. That's kind of why I actually like to stick to small groups of people. I don't, I can be a chameleon.
Yeah.
But the reality is I like to have small groups, small networks, people that I know that when I'm not with them, they've got me, and vice versa. And I think there's just so much out there that gets in the way of actually leading very healthy lifestyles, whether it's food, drink, what have you, relationships, toxic relationships. I think it's there's so many different factors that can play a role into how somebody is feeling about themselves that we just easily overlook. So, like Ryan said, we're definitely here.
always.
Doors open.
Yeah.
I love this topic. I think I like the realness of this conversation, because I think there's, hopefully, if there's just one person out there listening to this that gets something good with it, good from it, I think
It makes everything worth
it makes it everything that's worth it.
100%.
So at the end of the day, yes, we're realtors, but we're humans.
We're fathers. We
Yeah.
are husbands.
Yep.
We are sons.
Yeah.
We are friends. We are neighbors. We are a little bit of everything. And I think what's that phrase? We're the jack of all trades.
Oh yeah, the jack of all trades,
master of none.
Yep.
I mean, I think that resonates so well with everybody, to be honest. But that's, I'm here. We're all just trying to do our best in what we know and learn and grow.
Yep.
And I'm glad that the community that we found together, and the communities that we have outside, I think are so great. And I love that we can touch so many of them this way.
Yeah, I would agree. Well, this has been a different type of Behind the Sign podcast, and I hope you had your tissues. But
Producer Billy's back there crying, and
we're not just
in
going
the
to talk real
Cybertruck.
estate. We're going to talk about everything that's going on in the world and in life. And hope you enjoyed listening to this one.
yeah, I hope so too. Would love to hear your thoughts and hear maybe your stories and what you're dealing with and how you overcome things. So don't feel free to leave a comment. Share with a friend. If you know somebody that this might help too, send it to somebody.
See you next time.